Have you ever wondered how you can make your garden a paradise for bees? Now that's a question worth buzzing about. Bees, these tiny, industrious creatures, play an essential role in the symphony of life. They are nature's premier pollinators, ensuring that plants, including those that make up a substantial portion of our food, reproduce and thrive. But there's a sting in the tail. Bee populations worldwide are facing a steep decline. A combination of factors such as habitat loss, climate change, and the use of harmful pesticides have put these little pollinators in peril. And it's not just the bees that are at risk. A world without bees would mean a world without almonds, apples, avocados, and a whole host of other fruits, vegetables, and flowers. So, how can we help? It's simpler than you might think. We can begin by transforming our gardens into sanctuaries for bees, vibrant, nectar-rich spaces where they can thrive. Creating a bee-friendly garden is not just about providing food for bees, it's about creating a safe habitat, a place where bees can live, breed, and continue their crucial work of pollination. And here's the best part, anyone can do it. Whether you have a sprawling garden, a small patio, or a balcony, you can create a space that's abuzz with life. Together we can play a part in reversing this trend, and it starts right in our own backyards. To understand why bees are so important, let's first delve into the fascinating process of pollination. Picture this: a bee lands on a flower, drawn by its vibrant colors and intoxicating aroma. As it sips the nectar, tiny grains of pollen from the flower's anther stick to the bee's fuzzy body. When the bee flits to the next flower, some of this pollen rubs off onto the new flower's stigma, a process known as pollination. This simple act is a crucial step in the life cycle of the flower. Once the pollen from one flower reaches the stigma of another, it travels down to the ovule, leading to the formation of a seed. This seed, once matured, will eventually grow into a new plant. But here's the real kicker. About 75% of the world's flowering plants depend on pollinators to reproduce. And it's not just flowers. Roughly 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat comes from plants pollinated by bees and other pollinators. From apples to zucchinis, almonds to vanilla, pollinators play a crucial role in producing many of the foods we enjoy daily. They're also essential for the pollination of plants that create habitats for other wildlife, contributing to a rich and diverse ecosystem. But it's not just bees buzzing around doing all the work. Other pollinators include butterflies, birds, bats, beetles, and even some mammals. Each of these creatures, in their own unique way, contributes to the intricate dance of pollination. And it's not just about food and biodiversity. Pollinators also have a significant economic impact. In the United States alone, honeybees contribute more than $15 billion to the economy through their pollination services. So, you see, without these hard-working pollinators, our food supply and the health of our planet would be at risk. Creating a garden that attracts and supports these creatures is not just a hobby, it's a way for each of us to contribute to the well-being of our planet. And that's something we can all buzz about. Ready to roll up your sleeves and get started on your bee-friendly garden? Here's what you need to know. First off, location, location, location. Yes, just like in real estate, it's all about where you situate your garden. Bees love the sun, so aim for a spot that gets at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight each day. Remember, bees are cold-blooded creatures, so they need the sun's warmth to get their wings buzzing. Just make sure there's also a bit of shade for them to cool off when it gets too hot. Now let's talk plants. When it comes to choosing flowers for your bee haven, variety is the spice of life. Bees are attracted to a wide range of plants, but they particularly love those with single flower tops like daisies and marigolds because they can easily access the pollen and nectar. Go for a mix of perennials and annuals to ensure something is always in bloom, providing a constant food source for our little pollinators. Colors, too, play a significant role. Bees have a fantastic vision for certain colors. They adore blues, purples, and yellows, so consider planting flowers in these hues. Imagine a garden bursting with bluebells, lavender, and sunflowers. Not only will it be a feast for the eyes, but a veritable banquet for bees. Don't forget to plant in clusters. Bees are more likely to spot your flowers if they're grouped together. Plus, it saves them energy, as they can collect more nectar and pollen from one spot before moving on to the next. Now on to understanding the needs of bees. While we often think of honeybees when we talk about creating a bee-friendly garden, it's important to remember that there are over 20,000 different species of bees globally. Each species has its own unique needs and preferences, so it's a great idea to research the types of bees native to your area and cater to their specific needs. For instance, some bees, like the honeybee, live in large colonies and prefer flowers that produce a lot of nectar. On the other hand, solitary bees, which make up the majority of bee species, live alone and are more attracted to flowers that produce large amounts of pollen. Water is another crucial element for your bee garden. Bees need water to drink, cool their hives, and make honey. Providing a water source, such as a bird bath or a shallow dish filled with pebbles and water, will give bees a place to hydrate and refresh. Lastly, let's talk about nesting. About 70% of bee species nest underground, while the rest prefer hollow stems or holes in wood. Leaving a small patch of bare, undisturbed soil or providing a bee hotel can give these pollinators a place to call home. Remember, the goal here is not just to attract bees, but to create a sustainable environment where they can thrive. It's about building a symbiotic relationship with these incredible creatures, providing them with the resources they need, and in turn, they help our gardens grow and flourish. With these considerations in mind, you're well on your way to creating a garden that bees will love. Now let's talk about the plants. After all, they're the main attraction for our buzzing friends. In the world of pollinators, diversity is key. Different bees are attracted to different flowers, so having a wide variety of plants can help attract a broader range of these vital creatures. Let's dive into 20 plants that are sure to make your garden a bee hotspot. First up, we have lavender. This fragrant plant is not just a favorite for us humans, but bees love it too. Its purple flowers are rich in nectar, which makes it a top pick for many species of bees. It's also a hardy plant, tolerating dry conditions and blooming from late spring to early autumn. Next on our list is the sunflower. These towering beauties are not just pretty to look at, but their large, flat flowers are like landing pads for bees. They are also a great source of pollen and nectar. Sunflowers bloom in the heat of summer and are a great way to add height and color to your garden. For those of you who enjoy a bit of culinary gardening, consider planting chives. These versatile herbs bloom in late spring and their purple puffball-like flowers are a big hit with bees. Bonus tip: they're also great in salads and as a garnish for your favorite dishes. Another herb that's a bee favorite is mint. Its small flowers are rich in nectar and it blooms from mid to late summer. Just remember, mint can be a bit invasive, so consider planting it in containers. If you're looking for something a little different, consider the globe thistle. Its unique, spherical flowers are a striking addition to any garden, and they're a magnet for bees. They bloom in mid to late summer and can tolerate a range of soil conditions. For a splash of color, consider planting poppies. These vibrant flowers are loved by bees and their pollen is a valuable food source. They bloom in the spring and can add a touch of whimsy to your garden. Moving on to a classic, we have the rose. Not just a symbol of love, roses are also loved by bees, especially the old-fashioned single-petal varieties. They bloom from late spring to early autumn and are a great way to add elegance to your garden. Another classic is the daisy. This cheerful flower is a favorite among many species of bees. The flat, open nature of the flower makes it easy for bees to access the pollen and nectar. Daisies bloom from early summer to early autumn and are a great way to add a touch of simplicity to your garden. And let's not forget about the foxglove. This tall, striking plant is a major attraction for bees. Its bell-shaped flowers are perfect for bees to crawl into and collect nectar. It blooms from late spring to early summer and can add a touch of drama to your garden. Last but not least, we have the humble clover. Often overlooked, clover is a fantastic plant for bees. It's rich in nectar and blooms for a long period from spring to autumn. It's also a great ground cover and can help improve soil health. That's our list of 20 bee-friendly plants. But remember, it's not just about the plants themselves, it's also about how you arrange them. Grouping the same plants together can make it easier for bees to collect nectar and pollen, as they don't have to fly as far. Also, try to have plants that bloom at different times of the year to provide a continuous food source. Taking care of these plants is also important. Regular watering, especially during dry periods, and avoiding harmful chemicals can help ensure a healthy environment for the bees. Remember, the more variety, the better. Different bees are attracted to different plants, so go ahead, mix it up, get creative, and most importantly, have fun with it. Your garden is not just a space for you to enjoy, but it can also be a vital habitat for our buzzing friends. Opening. A great garden isn't just about the right plants, it's also about how you take care of them. So you've got your garden designed and your bee-friendly plants are in the ground. Now you might be wondering, how do I maintain this garden to keep it buzzing with life? Well, the key is to think organic. When we talk about organic gardening, we're referring to a philosophy of working with nature rather than against it. It's a way to cultivate a garden that's not only a haven for bees but also a healthier environment for all living things. And it starts with the soil. Healthy soil is the foundation of any productive garden. It's teeming with life, full of beneficial microbes, insects, and other organisms that help plants thrive. To nurture this vibrant ecosystem, consider composting. Composting is a natural process that transforms your kitchen scraps and yard waste into a nutrient-rich soil conditioner. It's like a superfood for your garden, and the best part is, it's free. But what about those pesky pests? It's tempting to reach for a chemical pesticide, but remember, we're trying to attract beneficial insects, not harm them. Instead, opt for natural pest control methods. For example, ladybugs and lacewings are natural predators of many common garden pests. By attracting these helpful critters, you're enlisting nature's own pest control service. And then there's the issue of weeds. Weeds can compete with your plants for resources, but rather than resorting to harmful herbicides, try mulching. Mulching not only suppresses weeds but also helps retain moisture, regulates soil temperature, and adds nutrients back into the soil as it decomposes. It's a win-win for your garden and the environment. Watering is another crucial aspect of garden maintenance. Bees, like all creatures, need water to survive. But they also need it to cool their hives and to process their honey. So make sure your garden is well watered but not waterlogged. Overwatering can lead to root rot and other problems. A good rule of thumb is to water deeply but infrequently, encouraging the roots to grow deeper and making the plants more resilient. And finally, let's talk about fertilizers. In a well-balanced organic garden, you often don't need additional fertilizers. The compost you add and the natural processes in the soil should provide most of the nutrients your plants need. But if you do need to give your plants a little boost, opt for organic fertilizers. These are derived from plant, animal, or mineral sources, and they release their nutrients slowly, mimicking the natural nutrient cycles in the soil. By following these organic gardening practices, you're doing more than just creating a bee-friendly garden. You're fostering a vibrant ecosystem, supporting biodiversity, and contributing to a healthier planet. And let's not forget, you're also likely to enjoy a bounty of fresh, homegrown produce, bursting with flavor and packed with nutrients. So really, everyone wins. Closing. By following these organic gardening practices, you're not just helping the bees, but also contributing to a healthier planet. Bees need more than just food, they also need a place to call home. So, once we've created a veritable buffet of pollen and nectar for our buzzing buddies, it's time to roll out the welcome mat. And that's what we're going to do in this part of our journey. Let's start by building bee hotels. These are simple structures that provide safe, cozy spaces for bees to rest and reproduce. The best part? They're incredibly easy to make. Here's a quick way to do it. Gather some bamboo canes or hollow plant stems and cut them into lengths of about 6 to 10 inches. Bundle these together and place them in a sheltered spot with the open ends facing outwards. You've just created a bee hotel. Alternatively, you can drill holes of varying sizes, from 2 to 10 millimeters, into a block of untreated wood. Remember, different species of bees prefer different hole sizes, so variety is key. Hang this up in a sunny, sheltered spot and wait for your guests to arrive. But wait, there's more to building bee homes than just hotels. Bees also need places to hibernate and lay their eggs. A simple pile of rocks or a patch of bare ground can provide the perfect spot for this. What about water, you ask? Yes, bees need water too, but they can't drink from a deep or fast-moving source. So, create a bee bath by filling a shallow dish or bird bath with water and add some pebbles or twigs for the bees to land on. Remember to refill it regularly, especially during hot, dry periods. Now, you might be wondering why go through all this trouble. Well, by providing homes and water sources for bees, you're not just helping them survive, you're also encouraging them to stay in your garden, increasing the chances of pollination. Moreover, these bee-friendly features can also attract other beneficial insects and wildlife, enhancing the biodiversity of your garden. So, really, it's a win-win situation. Before we wrap up, here's a pro tip. Don't be too tidy. Leave some areas of your garden undisturbed with piles of leaves or twigs. These wild areas can provide additional habitats for bees and other wildlife. Remember, every little bit helps. Even the smallest garden or balcony can provide a valuable habitat for bees. So don't be discouraged if you don't have a lot of space. Be creative, and most importantly, have fun with it. So there you have it. Building bee homes is not just about providing shelter, it's about creating a welcoming environment where bees can thrive. And in doing so, you're also contributing to the health and diversity of our ecosystems. With these habitats in place, bees are more likely to stick around and keep coming back to your garden. So, let's give our buzzing buddies the homes they deserve. You might be wondering, can one bee-friendly garden really make a difference? Well, let's take a moment to hear from some gardeners who have already embarked on this journey. Meet Jane, a city dweller who transformed her small urban balcony into a buzzing oasis. She started with a couple of bee-friendly plants and a small water dish. Today, she enjoys a morning cup of coffee surrounded by the gentle hum of bees. The sight of these diligent pollinators at work, right in her own little concrete jungle, brings her immense joy and a sense of connection to nature. Then, there's the story of the Green Thumb Club from a small town. This group of gardening enthusiasts decided to make a collective effort to attract pollinators. They shared plants, swapped tips, and even built bee hotels. Within a year, they've noticed a significant increase in the number and variety of pollinators visiting their gardens. The club members agree that their gardens have never looked more vibrant and alive. And let's not forget about the Johnsons, a family living on the outskirts of a bustling city. They decided to dedicate a portion of their backyard to create a bee-friendly garden. Their kids took an active part in the process, learning about the importance of pollinators and the role they play in our ecosystem. Today, they have a flourishing garden and a newfound respect for these tiny creatures. These are just a few examples among countless stories of individuals and communities making a difference. Each bee-friendly garden is a stepping stone towards a healthier and more sustainable ecosystem. As more and more people join this movement, the ripple effect of these small-scale efforts can lead to large-scale impact. Remember, every flower planted, every bee attracted contributes to a bigger picture. A world where bees and other pollinators can thrive, ensuring our plants bear fruits and our crops yield harvest. So, whether you have a sprawling backyard or just a tiny balcony, you too can contribute to this cause. As you can see, every garden counts. Together, we can make a big difference. Now that you know how to create a bee-friendly garden, it's time to put your knowledge into action. Start envisioning your garden as not just a place of beauty, but as a sanctuary for these wonderful creatures. Picture the vibrant flowers, the buzzing bees, the fluttering butterflies, and the hummingbirds, all coexisting in harmony. This is not just a dream, but an achievable reality. Why does this matter? Well, think about it. Every single garden, no matter how small, contributes to a greater cause. It's like a puzzle piece, forming part of the grand, beautiful picture of our ecosystem. When you create a bee-friendly garden, you're not just enhancing your own space. You're contributing to a global effort to save our precious pollinators. And don't underestimate the impact of this effort. Did you know that 3 out of every 4 bites of food you take are thanks to the hard work of bees and other pollinators? That's right. By providing a safe haven for these tiny creatures, you are playing a significant role in safeguarding our food supply and maintaining biodiversity. But the impact doesn't stop there. Imagine the joy and satisfaction you'll feel when you see your garden buzzing with life. Imagine the lessons your children or grandchildren will learn about nature and responsibility. Imagine the conversations you'll have with neighbors and friends, inspiring them to join you in this journey. So, are you ready to take the first step? It's simpler than you think. Start by choosing a sunny spot in your garden. Pick a variety of plants that bloom at different times of the year. Avoid pesticides and provide fresh water. And remember, every little action counts. And don't worry, you're not alone in this journey. We're here to guide and support you every step of the way. You can find more detailed information and practical tips on our website. You can also join our online community where you can share your experiences, ask questions, and learn from fellow gardeners on the same path. Remember, change starts with you. Your actions today can make a difference tomorrow. And together, we can create a world where bees and other pollinators thrive, ensuring a healthier and more vibrant future for us all. So, what are you waiting for? It's time to buzz into action and start your journey towards creating a bee-friendly garden today.